Hey everyone, Ryan here with my third and final video tonight. So, the video that I'm going to do, which I completely forgot about, but now I actually remember, I was going to go over my Spotify 2021. It's weird because they sort of like, it's a year in review, yet you've still got a month of the year left, so I guess they do it from like end of December to end of November or something like that. Statistics I'll go with, basically what they showed me. I've like From Spotify, I have listened to 32,018 minutes on Spotify. It's more than 80%, 86% of other listeners in the UK. Essentially, I use it during like work or when I'm at home. I'll listen to a podcast in the background or listen to music whilst I'm playing games. Also, they have like this 2021 the film soundtrack. So I think it basically said this is mine was based on like defeating like ancient aliens or something like that, which I guess in a way could work. So the opening credits theme is Mystery of the Meteorite from the Sega Sound team, which is basically it's one of Sonic Riders Zero. I think it's either Sonic Free Riders or Sonic Riders Zero Gravity. It's very like ominous in a way, but I quite like it. The dance-off, funny enough, is 1-2-1. It's in the Goofy movie, you know, the big song at the end with the Michael Jackson-esque character, which kind of works because essentially it is a dance routine song. And then the final battle is Fist Bump by Douglas Robb from Hoobastank, who did the Sonic Forces. He did a song for Sonic Forces. It's essentially when you have your character combine with Sonic and you both do a sprint. I quite like it. I like Sonic Forces. Like, it took me a while to get around to playing it, and there's only a few songs from it that I like. I know, like with the older Sonic games, I used to like almost every stage music. I just find it harder nowadays to get invested in video game soundtracks unless it like really sticks with me. But there are a few from Sonic Forces which I liked. Top song of the year. Save Your Tears by The Weeknd. I apparently listened to it 30 times. I'm sure it's a lot more than 30 times. So that was mainly because it was the theme song for WrestleMania 37. I believe Blinding Lights was WrestleMania 36, but WrestleMania 37 was Save Your Tears. So I listened to that quite a bit. That's pretty much why it's one of the top ones. I'm sure another song should have been the top one, which funny enough is number 2, but maybe that's just because it happened later in the year. So my 5 top songs. So like I said, number 1, Save Your Tears by The Weeknd. Number 2, Head of the Table, which is Roman Reigns' new theme song, which if you like operatic final boss type music, definitely listen to Roman Reigns' music because it is great. And also it's I'm not really one to work out or anything, but I feel like it's a very motivational, like to get you in the zone type thing. It is so good. Number 3 is Metalingus by Alter Bridge, which is Edge's theme song, mainly because he came back at the Rumble last year in 2020, so obviously I was listening to that a lot because it's so great to see Edge come back. And then 4 and 5 are from the same soundtrack essentially. You got Without Question from The Road to El Dorado by Elton John, and The Trail We Blaze, also from The Road to El Dorado by Elton John. I remember I watched The Road to El Dorado again at some point, and I just really loved the soundtrack to it, and I thought I'd finally look it up and start listening to the songs. I'm sure 6, 7 are probably like other songs from there as well. But yeah, it kind of shows the type of music I listen to. My audio aura, my top music moods are focused and wistful. Whatever wistful means. I tell you what, whilst we're here, and I don't know why I didn't think of it earlier, I'm going to look at what wistful is. Shall we see if it tells me? It might not because I've currently got a video uploading, so it may mess with the wistful. Having or showing a feeling of vague or regretful longing. Full yearning or desire tinge with like an experience of yearning or wistful, right? Using these. Oh no, okay, I guess that makes sense. Like you listen to, for example, Without Question, it's sort of like a, yeah, like I don't know, like I don't know what's the way to say it. Like I think it's sort of like if you know what it's part of, then you can see why that's why it's like that. but it's because it like in Road to El Dorado, that song's like the breakup bit, like most cliche like love film. Although El Dorado's not a love film, but like in most films, there's the falling out part, especially in like cartoons and like animated movies. There's the bit where they break off, and then they have the song that plays whilst they're like going their own ways. Basically, it's that. Next, my top 5 genres. Number 1, wrestling, obviously. Number 2, video game music, also obviously. Number 3, dance pop. That's probably down to some of the wrestling music and stuff like that. Number 4, indie rock. I've definitely been into indie rock a very long time. I don't know if you count like the Cougs, Razorlight, maybe One Republic. Who else is there? But basically, like rock bands, sort of like All American Rejects, all that stuff. I don't know if you count those as indie rock, but basically that's what it is. Like I've been listening to that sort of thing for ages. And then number 5 is emo. I wish I was more specific about that. I think that probably plays into the wistful stuff. Like maybe because the song's a bit more of a sadder tone. Maybe that's why they put it down to emo. Maybe it's just certain artists, like maybe Panic at the Disco counts as emo. That might be why emo's on there, because I listen to a lot of Panic at the Disco. And then there's Two Truths and a Lie. I pretty much got this one because it sort of answered it for me. Song I binge listened to the most was without question from the Road to El Dorado, which was a lie because, like I said, it was number 4. Daily Mix Mom was my number 1 Spotify playlist of the year. Pretty much was. I pretty much go through my daily mixes. Normally the first one is wrestling based, which is why I picked that one. And the podcast I binge listened to the most was Courtaholic Wrestling, which, as we find out in the next one, was also true. Because I had streamed 17,050 minutes of it. I'd listened to, I think it was 100, I think it said 173 episodes. Which basically, it would be the majority of the podcasts, like the Courtaholic Wrestling podcasts. It would be the classic SmackDown reviews, and then there might be some other things in there which I listen to as well. Like 9 pitches for whatever pay-per-view's coming up, or stuff like that. Courtaholic is definitely been one of my favourite channels to watch the past 4 years. I've recently got into OSW review as well recently, like past couple of months. Been watching a lot of their stuff. But yeah, Courtaholic, I've pretty much been following them since day one. They were a lot of them were part of What Culture and then left to do their own thing. And I was very glad they did, because they were pretty much the only ones that I watched, to be honest. Whilst they're at What Culture, so to see them move over to do their own thing with Courtaholic, and then also Triple Jump coming along was great. Because Ben and Peter were part of What Culture Gaming, and then they went and did videos, and then they became Triple Jump, and they're now a sister channel, Courtaholic, which is great because it's essentially all my favourite people from What Culture essentially in one area, which is great. And then my top 5 podcasts, like I said, number 1, Courtaholic Wrestling. Number 2, Taskmaster the podcast. I absolutely love Taskmaster. I've watched every episode of that, especially since they announced it and I saw it. It took me by, it was a nice intrigue. Well, what's the word for it? It piqued my interest. I've loved every episode. You look back on some of them, maybe that was good, but each series has a few iconic moments, which is great. And having Ed Gamble, who was on season 9, he has a podcast where he goes over previous episodes with multiple guests, some of them being previous Taskmaster contestants or just fans of the show. And it's really great to listen to. And he also goes over the current series. Series 12 has just finished, and that was also another great series. I don't think there's actually been a series I've been disappointed with. The next one's going to be interesting because I only know one person, but Taskmaster lets me learn about a lot of new people. I wasn't aware of Rose Matafeo or Lou Sanders or Mike Wozniak or who else is there? Asim Chowdhury, or I think that's probably one of the first times I saw Ramesh as well. On Taskmaster. There's a lot of new people that you see on there that you probably aren't aware of. I had a lot of fun with that. Number 3, The Weekly Planet. They were one of my top ones last year. I've not listened to them as much. I think mainly because, like I said, I've been listening to a lot more Courtaholic and Taskmaster this year. And then also Weekly Planet is sort of A majority of their episodes are stuff I haven't watched yet, so I don't really want to listen to it, and I don't want it spoiled for me, and unfortunately I've not got around to it yet. I still watch their like Caravan and Garbage series on Mr. Sunday Movies, which is their other YouTube channel. Weekly Planet is normally their podcast one. So I still enjoy their content. It's just their podcasts are normally about recent movies and stuff that come out that I still want to watch. Number 4, Quizlemania. Part of Wrestle Talks is a wrestling comedy quiz show essentially. I think the reason why that one's a bit further down is because I tend to just watch them on YouTube, and also like their frequency of them coming out has gone down now. It used to be every week, and then it became every 2 weeks, and now it's every month. So yeah, like I said, the episodes aren't as often. And then number 5, the Triple Jump podcast, like I mentioned before, the sister channel to Courtaholic. They do more gaming content. I have listened to a fair amount of their podcasts. I need to sort of get back around to watching a bit more of them, especially with Ashton being here now, like just to adjust to her being there. I did after like the first episode, but like I said, it's just finding the time to watch the Triple Jump podcast that I've got to get around to. I still watch their like worst games ever, weirdest games ever. I watch their top 10 lists. Like I said, the podcast is just something I need to be in the mindset to listen to. And like I said, from watching like OSW now, Triple Jump sort of sits to the wayside, unfortunately. My top artist is WWE. Minutes streamed 1,270, and most played song before Head of the Table, Roman Reigns. Like WWE as a company is not the best, but one thing that they have been consistent with is they do make good music. Like I said, this Head of the Table with Roman Reigns is one. It's a massive example of that. Yeah, like I said, it doesn't surprise me that they're the top artists, because I do like a majority of my music is wrestling theme songs, like as old or as new as they are. 5 top artists: WWE. Number 2, Sega Sound Team. Like that goes with like Sonic and everything else. You know, I enjoy a lot of the Sonic soundtrack. Number 3, Jim Johnson. That's an extension of WWE essentially. Number 4, CFOS. Also WWE, they did like the NXT ones for a few years. And then number 5 being Daft Punk. That's mainly because of the Tron Legacy soundtrack. I rewatched Tron Legacy a few months ago, and then got myself back into the Daft Punk soundtrack. And then yeah, that's pretty much all the statistics. The last one is just a roundup at the end. Top artist, WWE, Sega Sound Team, Jim Johnson, CFOS, Daft Punk. Top songs, Save Your Tears, Hell of the Table, Metalingus, Without Question, and The Trailblaze. 32,018 minutes listened to, and top genre European wrestling. So that is my Spotify 2021. I might do the same next year if I remember to. I don't think I did my previous year's ones, but there's a first for everything. Thank you for watching this, and I will see you in the next one.